Hello and welcome to the December edition of the Habitat Home Show. My name is David Mauch and I'll be your host for today's episode. We've got a tremendous episode planned for you today. We've got several guests lined up. Secret Smiles of Dayton will be joining us to tell us about their mission. We've got a representative from Sinclair Community College to talk about an exciting class that they offer as part of their curriculum. And we'll talk about a tremendous incentive we have for volunteers to volunteer with us this winter. To start out, let's jump right into it. I'm joined here today by Treese. Molly is from Secret Smiles of Dayton. We really appreciate you being here with us today, Molly. Thanks for joining us. We're thrilled about the partnership that we have with Secret Smiles, and I hope we can share a little bit of information about that partnership with our viewers today. So welcome.
Thank you, Dave. It's great to be here, and we love Habitat, and I'm really excited to be able to talk about our terrific community partnership.
All right. Well, first of all, I imagine some of our viewers don't know about Secret Smiles, and I wondered if you could share a little bit of information about your mission and what you're trying to do in the community.
Sure. Secret Smiles is a very small nonprofit organization, 501c3. We are 100% volunteer-based. All of our donations go right back out to the community, and our mission is focused solely on providing beds and bedding to kids in need in our community.
Great.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how Secret Smiles got started and how the need arose and how you guys got going to fill that need?
It's a great story, and just cut me off if I go on too long. It very much a grassroots experience of a group of women, of friends who saw a need and wanted to respond to really what was a very tragic situation. One of our best friends, Treese, who's the president of Secret Smiles, had a sister who was a University of Dayton graduate, and she was living and working in New York City and had started a Secret Smiles in New York City to help children through a teacher friend of hers who had seen women who had come out of a shelter, had a place to live, but it wasn't a home. And so they saw that need, and they responded by raising money and giving donated items to the families to make it more of a home. And tragically, Christy, her sister, was killed on 9/11. She was in the South Tower and never made it home. And in response to that, we were all young mothers, and we had children, and we couldn't believe we were raising children in a world that had that kind of tragedy in it. And we said, that is not the end of the story. And what we really wanted to do was make a difference in our community. We gave some money back to Secret Smiles in New York, but we decided we would found something similar here that we could be involved in, our children could be involved in, and that we would, through acts of kindness and giving, make this world a better place. And that really is how we got started, very kind of spontaneously, just wanting to do something positive in response to what was a horrible tragedy.
Wow, that's a great story. Now, are there Secret Smiles affiliates in other parts of the country as well, or just
not yet?
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's always a dream of mine to expand because what we do is so powerful, and we have had such a great experience here in the Dayton community with people giving so much, and partners like Morris Home Furnishings who help us buy the beds at a very low cost. We buy them from a cost, they deliver for free. We're able to reach so many more families than we would otherwise. I think that formula would translate to other cities. At this point, though, we're only Dayton. There is, for us, it's really been tremendous. We've been able to grow from really small to having just, 25 beds a year to now 500 beds a year. And I'm really excited. We just hit a huge milestone for us. We just, this month, through a large event, we're able to get over the hump of 5,000 beds.
Wow.
So yeah, we're
That's
excited
awesome.
about that.
That's tremendous. Now, does the affiliate in New York City, do they still?
No, they're not really operational. Once in a while, they'll do a fundraiser and stay in touch with the community, but they don't have the group of supporters that really are willing to give that kind of time. It's a labor of love. We have 6 women on our board, and we have a group of volunteers that help us, that help with our fundraisers, help with keeping us going, because again, we're 100% volunteer based. We don't have a staff, we don't have an office or anything like that. So you really need that kind of core support to keep it going. But I will tell you, it is possible with 5 women, and that's pretty amazing that what we do with only the limited amount of resources that we have. Yeah.
I just saw in the local media that you had a big event at the University of Dayton.
Yes, that's the one that got us over the 5,000. So yeah, that was a really great event. We, for the first time, it was a first ever event. We were approached by United Way. And we reached out with Morris and the University of Dayton. We all, 4 organizations from within the community came together and all at once brought families together. 50 children were able to get beds that day. Down at UD Arena, we had Rudy, Flyer there. The kids were able to play basketball on center court.
Wow.
And then we had just a wonderful group of volunteers who helped come and take those beds, what we call our bed brigade, and get them back out to those families that day. So everything happened all at once, which is just a joy to see that kind of elation when a child, that many children all at once are getting beds. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, we were thrilled to play a small role in that. Our truck was there.
You were the bed brigade.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
That was great. And I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm like, of course Habitat's going to be there.
Yeah.
It was
Awesome.
great.
Well, you guys support us so much that if we can give back a little bit or help in any way, we certainly want to do that.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I know one story I have in my role at Habitat. I'm the Family Services Director, so I have the opportunity to have really strong relationships with our families that are coming through the program that you ultimately support when they purchase the home and receive the bedding. And she come into our office and was asking about, I need to buy a bed. Me and my 12-year-old son are currently sharing a bed. And, this is going to be a new beginning for us when we purchase a Habitat home in a month or so. And it was such a relief when I told her that she doesn't need to purchase a bed, that a bed is going to be given to her, donated to her when she purchases the home, when she moves in, that she's going to receive bedding. So it's really neat to see. And I know there's a lot that happens in your life when you do move into a home as somebody who has moved before. You got to buy some stuff, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. And to have the bed and the bedding donated by your organization, I think, is just one less thing that people have to worry about. And then knowing that it's new is really, really neat too.
Exactly why our mission is so important, because getting a child a warm, safe bed to sleep in is the best way to help them succeed in school the next day and meet all the challenges in their life. If they're sleeping on an old mattress on the floor or on a couch or with a parent, they're not getting that good night's rest and that sanctuary of their own, that safe place that I think is so important. And I really do think, again, you touched on that point, that it's one less thing for that mom to worry about. And so many of the families that we serve, these particularly single mothers, are working around the clock for their families. They are doing everything they can, but they don't have unlimited resources. They have budgets and things they have to do, and beds are expensive. They're really expensive. So for us to be able to come in and give them a gift of a bed is not only a gift for that child and that great night's sleep that they're going to get, but it's one less big thing for the mom and the parents to worry about, which is a blessing, I think, for them as well. Absolutely.
And it's something I take for granted.
Yeah.
As somebody who grew up with a great 2-parent household and, has always kind of had what I needed and stuff, it's something I definitely take for granted, or I have taken for granted. And to hear some of the stories from some of our partner families who are, maybe working check to check, and you talk about beds being expensive and mattresses expensive, and it's something that maybe isn't at the top of the budget as far as being able to buy. So for you guys to come in and support them is really outstanding. How is your organization funded, or how do you afford to do all these great things in the community?
Well, we are blessed with a community of support. We have resources all over the place. A lot of it is through major fundraisers that we do. Every other year we do a big event, a party. It's always a lot of fun. We have it usually down at the Bombright Distributors Warehouse. They give us that space for free, and we have a theme that we'll pick. Night of New Orleans we've done, a night of country smiles, music and food, and just a good time. And people pay to go and donate through an auction that we do. And we have a dream team of volunteers that come in and help us make that event happen. Every other year, on the off years, we'll do a shopping trip. We'll take a busload of people over to Columbus, to the Easton Town Center, make a holiday kind of event out of it. We have been blessed with some generous support from partners like Morris and United Way. We've received some donations in connection with that event that we were talking about, the Day to Dream event. And we have people who know about us and appreciate what we do, want to make a difference, believe in our mission, and through our website, secretsmilesdayton.org, they make donations. We have a brochure we send out every year. At the end of the year, we get donations through that, and some grant money, and it all comes together every year. We're always we've been in some tight pinches over the years, and something miraculous will happen. I mean, we really believe in believing in what we do, and staying positive, and we've been able to achieve a lot through that kind of perspective. And I don't know where it comes. It happens.
That's what we say that at Habitat sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
We don't know how it's all going to come together, but at the end of the day, it seems to.
It just does,
yeah.
and it floors us every time. We do have a guardian angel with Christy up there, and I really believe that she's watching out for us, and these things that happen are part of that story that is Secret Smiles and the magic of it. So, yeah.
If someone was interested in, well, let me just ask. I know your partnership with us, and
Right.
I know how strong that
Yep.
is. Are there other organizations in the community that you
there's
work with, that,
lots
as far
and
as
lots.
assistance and working to find the people that need help?
They're all over, and through the years, we've been around since 2001. So, we incorporated in 2003, a long time, and through word of mouth mostly, we have develop these relationships, but we have them with social services in Greene County and Montgomery County. We work with Catholic Social Services. We work with the Artemis Center for battered women. We work with YWCA. We work with CareSource. We work with schools.
Oh, wow.
Lots of schools, and those are wonderful relationships that we really work with anybody who can, who has a direct working relationship with a family, and knows who they are and what they're doing and what the family's trying to do to improve their situation, and are likely to be the kind of people who will pay it forward, because that's so much of our mission, is making the world a better place. And so through whatever way that they can do, and have demonstrated that they're that kind of person, then we really do believe that the gifts we give aren't just ending there, that they're going to be paid forward in whatever way those families can do.
If someone was interested in whether it be donating or maybe receiving assistance or finding out more about that or getting involved in some way, what would be the best way to get in touch with Secret Smiles?
Well, the best way, since we don't have an office or a building to come down, is through our website, secretsmilesdayton.org. And on there is a Contact Us page. You go to that page. If you're a social service organization, a teacher, or a school, and you're interested in, and you know of a family who needs a bed, you can go there, and there's a form you can fill out for that family, working with that family, and get it to us. There's also information on how to get in touch with us, and send us an email and we'll be in touch. We'd love to hear from people.
All right, Molly. Well, thanks so much for coming on the Habitat Home Show today. We really appreciate everything you and Secret Smiles of Dayton does for our organization and to help our partner families out. And we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks, Dave.
Coming up next will be Phil Kloos, our Restore Manager, with a special segment from a local professor from Sinclair Community College.
Hi, I'm Phil Kloos, manager of the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Dayton. I have a special guest with me, Diane Leakas. She's a professor at Sinclair College in Dayton, and she teaches design. And she has a class of sustainable design in which she uses our facilities at the Restore. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
How'd you get hooked up with us at the Restore?
Actually, I was attending a seminar on community service at Sinclair, and one of your representatives was talking about Habitat for Humanity, and knowing through a community school, it's very hard to get students to work outside of class on a weekend. If they're not in school taking classes, they're usually working. And I was trying to think of how I could embrace community service in this particular classroom. And during that seminar, things just came together, and I thought, what a great idea. My students are very creative about repurposing something and keeping it out of the landfill. And that's cutting down on waste and reducing all kinds of things as far as energy and emissions and things like that. This would be a good way for them to dig deep into their talents and create something that would be purposeful for the community.
Well, that's great. And we've known each other for about 3 years.
That's correct.
You each year you come to visit us with your class, and they select items from the Restore
Correct.
to take and repurpose. And we always enjoy having them in. I'm always surprised thinking that it's probably going to be the same thing each year, and each year I'm surprised how different it is.
It surprises me as well when the students, and typically there are about 13 to 15 students, converge onto your store, and they're thinking about many different ideas, and the idea they came into the store with typically is not the idea that gets executed at the end of this project, but certainly an outcome that is really much greater than either the student or myself anticipated. Especially one example would be a student picked up a suitcase, a Samsonite hard clamshell styled suitcase, and thought, what is she going to do with this? And she actually turned it into a chair by adding legs to it and painting it and adding a cushion. And so there are a lot of design things that she had to work through, which is part of the reason that we're doing this, and came up with a very unique creative product.
And almost all the students want to take their project home with them when they're done. We offer to have them contributed to the store, and we sell it, or they can buy it for a nominal price. And I think all but one this year bought their project.
Right, when we first started doing this project, the students knew that they were to donate it back, and they put a lot of heart and soul into it. And it was hard for them to give up their item that they had created, and understanding that they would be paying for, my students actually, through your generosity, pick up a piece, and then they contribute their own money as well for whatever changes they make to it. But it's not just the monetary value, it's actually their creativity and seeing what they end up with. The first year, my students were probably your best customers. They were buying from each other, saying, okay, let them know that I want to buy this. And I was really impressed by the talents that came out of the students each year, as you were saying. It's never the same thing.
And as we talked, there's another aspect to the class. Not only do they do the design, but they come back to us and present their design to me and to others within Habitat. So they work on their presentation skills.
They do. It's important for a designer to be able to communicate at all levels, not only as they're presenting the end product to a client, or even during the design process trying to show the concept of what they're planning, but also a good communication skill that's developed during this project is learning how to talk to contractors. Most of my students have worked through a drafting class or on computers with CAD or Revit software, but rarely do they work directly with a craftsperson. And when they get out into the professional community, they're going to have to talk with craftspeople, contractors, but it's important to build a respect for those contractors and for the contractors to have a respect of the designers as well. And this is one thing that I think really opens the design students' eyes, where they have to talk to somebody about, how do I cut this? What bolts and nuts do I need to construct this? And I'm having a design dilemma. We do have a workshop at Sinclair. It's a wood shop. And LB is our instructor to help the students work with power tools, which many of them have never touched. So they know how to sand, they know how to cut product, they know how to restructure things, to secure things as well. They really have to think through this, but they also have to communicate what their needs are to a craftsperson. And if they're not working through LB with our wood shop, then they are seeking out people in their own community. Many times it's a dad who has power tools and is like, finally, I get to pass this knowledge on to my child, or to an uncle, or it could be an aunt as well. So it's fun to see how they reach out to their immediate community to help support them through this process. So communication is a big skill that's learned.
Very pleased this year. You did a wonderful job putting together portfolios. 11 by, was it 11 by 18?
About
11 by 17 inch portfolios that detail the project through the different stages of construction and painting and finishing, and a narrative down below. And we have those in the Restore for our customers. So our customers can come and look through that book as a way of getting ideas for what they might do with a piece that's in the store.
The ideas are really just unlimited. All she needs is an imagination and just to think through it. Most of the students, as they are coming up with one idea, as I told you, many times it morphs into something else. It's called bench design. If you come across a problem, how can I make this work? And many times that will almost lead you into another direction. And what we're seeing, and definitely with your book at the store, as well as on your Facebook page, I think are some of the students' work, you will see what they created. One girl created a bench out of a dresser by removing 4 drawers and created a bench. Somebody else took a headboard. Actually, this is from last year. She took a queen-size headboard and footboard, cut the footboard in half, and then attached it to the headboard to the right and to the left to create a bench. And then using a piece of repurposing old flooring, she established the bench, the seating portion of that bench too.
Well, it's always fun. We look forward to having you back next year.
Thank you.
And hopefully our customers will come in and page through our portfolio here and get ideas and do their own creative work. Diane, thanks for coming in. Next, Dave Mauch will talk about progress on our Senate Drive property.
Thank you, Phil and Diane, for that exciting segment. Hopefully we inspired some viewers out there to come into our Restore and take a look at some of the merchandise we have there and maybe turn it into something exciting for their home. Next, I want to talk a little bit about our latest build project happening out in Miamisburg. Our 650 Senate build is nearly completed. I was just out there today. It's always exciting to be on site with our builds and see the spirit and enthusiasm in our volunteers and the folks helping us out. You'll see some pictures coming across the screen here. Like I said, we're almost finished with the project. We're so excited. When I was there today, Isaac Nazamatuma, who will be purchasing the home from us, was there. He's there nearly every day. This is a gentleman who works third shift, gets off work about 8 in the morning every morning, and our build site opens at 8:30 and routinely comes to the site after work and puts in a few hours volunteering with us each and every day. So it was exciting to see Isaac out there today. He's got some incredible excitement as we near the completion of his build. As you'll see in the pictures, we've got the siding on, roof. We've got the neatest little shed we've built in the back. As you'll see, the color of the house is yellow. It looks really nice. Starting to put a lot of the interior things into it, cabinetry, showers, getting close to the floors going down. So just completely excited about this build coming to a close. We'll be dedicating the home on January 20th. And Isaac will be signing the mortgage that morning. Him and his wife Jacqueline will be signing the mortgage paperwork that morning and moving into the house that weekend. So excited for Isaac and his family. And it was a joy to see him on the build site today volunteering with our team. Next up, we've got Norm Miozzi with us. Norm, our Director of Operations over at Habitat for Humanity. Wanted to talk about an exciting incentive going on at Habitat right now. As I mentioned in the previous segment, even though it's cold out, even though it's wintertime, we've still got projects going on. We're still out there building, and we're certainly in need of volunteers. And Norm's here to tell us about an exciting incentive we have for our wintertime volunteers called the Polar Bear Club. Welcome, Norm.
Right. Thank you, Dave.
So tell us a little bit about the Polar Bear Club and why it's important and how people can get involved.
All right. So, well, as you mentioned, we do build homes, and actually, of course, some of our renovations go all year round. In the summertime, of course, everybody thinks let's go out, in the nice warm weather and work. Well, in the wintertime, sometimes it's harder to get volunteers to come out. That's how we build, right? We use volunteers. Without the hearts and the hands out there helping us, things slow down. So what we've done is, in the past couple years, we started what we, as you called it, our Polar Bear Club. And what the Polar Bear Club is, obviously in the cold weather, right? Anyone that comes out and volunteers with us for what we call 4 of our shifts becomes a member of the Polar Bear Club, right? And of course they get one of these nice, winter hats to wear. But the thing that it does is it helps us, of course, fill our slots out on the build sites. It does get cold, so anytime, between now and the end of March, if you volunteer 4 times, you're automatically a member of the Polar Bear Club. It is, of course, something that we like to show our appreciation. But of course, it makes a great, little wardrobe addition too as you come out onto the build site. It's kind of a status symbol, Dave. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That you're a member of the Polar Bear Club.
So if somebody is excited and wants to get involved volunteering with us, what would be the best way for them to go about earning this distinction of Polar Bear Club and also signing up to volunteer?
Well, great. So the easiest way is if somebody goes on our website, DaytonHabitat.org, right? There's a volunteer button, and if they just click volunteer, it'll take them to the steps. Basically, if they've never volunteered before, it's a pretty easy sign-up process, but once you're signed up, then you can see the different job sites where we're building, whether it's, again, new or a rehab, and then you just click on sign up, and you can become, basically show up for your shift, and once you're there, again, we'll track the hours, and we'll take it from there. Like I say, it's great. And then once you're signed up, of course, not just can you volunteer during the winter time, but also, all year round, kind of help us, finish the houses.
Great. Well, in the coming months, where will we be building homes? Where will we be active over the next few months?
Great. So as you mentioned, right now we're at 650 Senate Street in Miamisburg. We also have a project out at 20 East Emerson Street in Fairborn. We have a new project I'm working on, which I'm going to kind of hold, reserve back right now, but it's another partnership we're hoping to partner with another nonprofit organization on the west side of Dayton. But then also we're going to have a couple rehabs, likely one in Xenia, not Fairborn, and possibly 2 in Xenia. We also have a couple repair projects that we're about to put online also. One of them is doing siding, of course, in the wintertime too. So it's going to be cold, but we hope we can get people out to help.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today, Norm, telling us a little bit about the Polar Bear Club. And thank all of you, our viewers, for tuning in today. We really appreciate your viewership. And we'll be back next month with another exciting episode of the Habitat Home Show. Thank you.